Timely offense and stout defense led the Spartans to victory against Iowa. Now at 3-1, they will look to build off that performance as they take on their biggest rival.
Please welcome to the field the Michigan State University Spartans.
The first road test for the team will offer unique challenges. A young team will look towards their upperclassmen to help guide them through adversity. With their backs against the wall, how do Spartans respond?
It was probably a few days after the season, and I was helping a friend at the time. I had sat down for a second, took a break because we were about finished, and when I sat down, my head started hurting. So I ended up going home, and my head was just banging. So I got home, I tried to go in my room and go to sleep. I couldn't, my head was hurting too bad. From the start of the time when I had the headache, I didn't sleep for 2 weeks, so the whole time I was just up, laying in my room trying to, hope this go away.
So Tyson was sent over to the MRI, and we really believed it was going to be a routine, normal MRI. But I got the call from them and said, we have a problem here, your athlete is having a stroke. And I was like, are you kidding me? Very much shocked. And then I started thinking about it, and I thought, well, he's had this headache for a bit. It wasn't just starting today, so I didn't think it was an active stroke at that moment. Like, I think he'd already had the stroke.
I'm coming up from the MRI, they pulled a mask and stuff off my face, and it's like 4 doctors standing at the entrance. So they said, let's go upstairs and talk. And I'm still not thinking anything about it. And it was like, the next thing we're gonna say might scare y'all. And we kind of paused and said, okay. And the doctor said, you had a mild stroke.
I was in shock, really. He was, at the time, 19, and, him being my roommate, my best friend, it was like, wow, I could have lost my best friend, and I don't know how I would have dealt with that.
Having a stroke at this young age doesn't happen in society very much. I was thinking, the poor guy will never be able to play football again, which he loves and is very good at. So I was, the shock wore off, and then I was thinking, his whole life changing, tried to get him to start thinking about other things in life besides football, and felt awful for him.
I kind of stepped away from everybody in the football building and everything else like that. Sadly, and the doctors were trying to get me to go to like rehab. And I ended up telling them eventually, like, I don't even want y'all to waste y'all time or money. I'm not going, because I just don't want to deal with it. I just want to get over everything.
I didn't hear the joy in his voice. As a mother, you know your children. And I could sense that he was not happy and just felt low, just low points in talking to him. I just didn't hear the joy anymore.
I was just trying to interact with him as much as I could because he kind of was pushing away from everybody. Not so much as me, because we were, pretty much together every day. But, I was starting to notice it. And, I understood because when you go through something, that big and that scary in your life, it's a process of trying to deal with it, trying to cope with it.
I started to think about football finally. And I actually went to go, I thought I was going to get cleared on my checkup with the doctor. And the doctor told me, like, yeah, if you was my son, I wouldn't let you play football. So I can't tell you whether you should or shouldn't, but I can't recommend it because I don't know if you could hit your head again and this could happen, or if this is even from football. They didn't know what was going to happen. So I left out that doctor's office trying not to cry that day.
He did tell me that he wanted to keep playing football, but at that point, I just wanted him to heal. As a mother, I wanted him to be physically okay. And whether that meant playing football or not playing football, I just wanted him to be healthy, physically, emotionally, mentally.
So I started to come back around the football building, but every time I would come back around, I'd get real emotional, like mad. I still wanted to play football, but everybody counted me out, even me for a moment. Like, we all counted me out as in I'd never play football again.
You hear the word stroke and you think, wow, that's it. if you saw him physically, you would have never believed that. And so when he began, I had to go by his cues. And when he began to tell me that he was feeling better physically, but Mom, I need to know, am I going to be able to play or not? Am I going to be able to be okay?
I start getting like more hopeful for myself. And the same doctor that told me no the first time recommended me to go see another doctor out in Boston at like Harvard. Me and my mom, we fly to Boston, and my sister meet us in Boston. So we sitting in a hotel. I'm still trying to play calm, and my mom asked me, like, are you scared? I'm like, yeah. I think it's all over. So the next morning, we going in the hospital. At this point, I couldn't even tell you where my mind was at. I just remember looking out the window, thinking about all the history that I'd had playing football, playing sports. I'm like, wow, that's crazy that it'd be over. I finally go see the doctor, and I can't even remember what we talked about the first time. I was so like in shock and just shook. And so my mom had brought everything from the doctors here. So he sees everything, reviews everything, and says, okay, I want to run a few more tests on you before you leave. And 2 days later, I was pulling back up to my apartment, and my mom had just so happened to call me.
I said, Tyson, your results are back. I've talked to the doctor. He said, okay. And I said, you can play. And he was like, Mom, did you say I could play? I said, the doctor said you can play. I said, the doctor said the chances of this ever happening again are astronomically low.
And I remember just driving, trying not to, start crying myself, if I wanted to smile or be happy or anything. So I kind of pulled over and just stopped and took a deep breath. And I'm like, this is gonna be a long road to see how I'm gonna be football-wise. I was working out probably like 5 times a day, 6 times a day, coming in the house, exhausted, barely could walk. Any of my friends that could come work out with me, they was there with me. And I come back to East Lansing, and I tell Coach D, I tell Sally, I tell everybody, like, yeah, I got cleared. And everybody's face was shocked, like, what?
The fact that he was able to overcome the stroke that he had and be really whole as a person in terms of being able to accomplish every dream that he ever had. He wanted to play football. He never stopped believing that he could do that. And to see all those dreams and that work come to fruition, I think is a very big positive.
When I ran out of the tunnel the first game, I didn't think I was gonna play. So I was just happy to, be out there. I would have been perfectly fine with standing there for the whole season. I was fine just being back in pads and on the team again.
Play fake. Morgan sets, throws. There's an interception. Tyson Smith, touchdown. No one happier to be playing today than Tyson Smith. And he's got a pick 6.
All I remember is catching the ball and running straight forward. It was like a dream come true. And when I got in the end zone or whatever, and I turned around, my teammates were happy and cheering.
His father and I were just jumping up and down. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. And when he came out, that smile on his face, it was just wonderful. It was wonderful.
Think about where you was at a few months ago, bro. You feel me, man? You feel me? You got
the spot where I had the stroke right here. Like most people, they're not able to walk after they have a stroke. And especially in the spot where mine was at, I'm not supposed to be able to walk. I'm not supposed to be able to talk. But when I finally started rethinking and started calming down and started overlooking life and how fortunate and blessed I was, and just let everybody, be around me how they wanted to be, and I started taking it in and just sitting there and just embracing everything. Everybody pushed me forward. When I was pushed forward, it was the best thing it was the best part of everything, because that was the whole thing of getting my confidence back, my memory back, and getting everything back. So everybody just helped me to what they could, the coaches, to my teammates, to my family, to Spartan Nation, any fans, everybody helped me get to where I am at today.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Prime Time.
Walking down the sideline, let's go.
The Spartans playing in Ann Arbor against the Wolverines of Michigan. This is the 110th meeting between these two rivals, and I don't know if you can put a value on winning this game.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Playing with a chip on your shoulder, coming into the big house, not being intimidated. Their defense will have to step up big tonight, obviously, to be able to pull off an upset.
And the weather will also be a factor. There's a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms after 9.
Something to file away as the Spartans and the Wolverines collide under the lights in the big house. McCorn looking left, along to the end zone, and no chance to make a play. And covered well by Josiah Scott.
And Michigan's going to have to settle for an apparent field goal try. The kick is up and the kick is good. Michigan scores first here. Michigan 3, the Spartans nothing. Hand off to Isaac, starts to his right, nice cut to his left. He is hit at the 45, the ball is loose, and guess who's got it?
Again, hesitates and bursts through the middle, and the Spartans do come up with a productive middle run and push the pile inside the 30. And 2nd and 13. Lewerke running out of time, again escapes and heads toward the end zone, diving! Touchdown, Spartans! So, the Spartans rip the ball away, take over in plus territory, and drive it 46 yards in 6 plays in less than 3 minutes to claim the lead here.
Offset eye left behind Lewerke. Play fakes again to Madre London. Stands in the pocket, throws left sideline. Jump nice ball catch made! Made! By Darrell Stewart.
They fake it, Stewart in the end around and flip it, look out, a convoy. London calling touchdown Michigan State. What a call and what a drive. And the big house is stunned at the moment.
Michigan State rotating a lot of bodies, trying to stay fresh up front.
Now they run it with Evans out of the eye, and the middle is stacked up.
Here's the snapback. O'Korn hit from behind, but he escapes. Steps back again.
He's down!
He won't get away this time. He is drilled and dropped by Gerald Owens at the 45-yard line of Michigan. Hand off to Madre, running up the middle.
Oh, look at that!
A burst. He's at the 30, the 35, the 40. Angles to his left. He's at midfield. Madre London on his feet inside the 40 and finally dragged down at about the 33-yard line of Michigan. Right through that vaunted Wolverine defense.
And so Michigan now perhaps will take an aggressive approach, try to cut into the lead here before the break.
1st and 10 at their 11. Snap back to O'Korn, in trouble. Down he goes inside the 5-yard line. Kenny Willicus with the sack on John O'Korn.
Spartans showing pressure. They bring it, and O'Korn spun down and hit behind the line for the 3rd time. That's Joe Bacci.
O'Korn will run. Raekwon Williams had him around the ankles, and he stepped out of it. Throws it upfield.
Ball's out!
Caught, but it's a
Michigan
fumble.
State got it back!
Sean McKeon fumbled it.
Michigan State, as D'Antonio promised, would come in swinging as the underdog. A couple of touchdowns in the first half, a couple of takeaways, and the Spartans, who will get the football to begin the second half, lead by 11 in front of a stunned big house. Very impressive from Brian Lewerke and a Spartans team that we told you is inexperienced. Only 12 guys in the travel squad tonight have played in the big house before. It's their first road game of the season. Think about how they played in this environment in the first 30 minutes, given those circumstances.
Played very, very well. Still have 30 minutes of football to go.
Fair catch called for, and then fumbled by Nelson. He back inside the 5, and he falls on it at about the 2.
Terrible field position. Plays right into the hands of the attacking Michigan defense.
And Hill As O'Korn stumbles, hands off to him, muscles down, no signal. Yes, he's in. Touchdown for the big fella. And suddenly it's a 4-point game. And the rain picking up, swirling around inside this big place.
O'Korn has a lot of time, throws over the middle. Intercepted through the fingertips of Crawford. Picked off by David Dowell, and David Dowell returns it to the Michigan 41-yard line.
Following the turnover, Wolverine defense does its job. Now Bartbarger will try to in back Peoples-Jones, who stands at his 14.
Medium drop. In trouble, down he goes.
Got to hurry here. Backpedals, flips it in a screen. Catches made to McCune, and the tight end bangs forward, gets a first down across the 25. It's a big play for the Wolverines. Figures to be the final play of this third quarter. And the rain getting heavier by the minute.
Fumbles the snap, picks it up, runs to his right, throws on the run. It's picked off. Joe Bocci intercepts at the 41-yard line of Michigan.
Michigan State, clock running, 4 in the play clock, takes over Wolverine territory. Lewerke keeps it, bangs ahead for 9.
The rain is unbelievable here. Lewerke runs to his right, spun down for no gain. Looked like he had some room, but it closed up in a hurry. It's now 4th down. Throws over the middle, it's intercepted. Another pickoff for the Spartan secondary. David Dowell has it, heads back up the right side, and he's out of bounds in Michigan territory.
Still, Michigan State having trouble converting, cashing in all these takeaways.
Evans on it, running back. O'Korn's in the shotgun, hands to Evans, spilled behind the line of scrimmage by guess who? Joe Bocci.
One of those games like last week, if you're a football purist, this is one of those games you love.
Man, a slugfest.
In the rain, all the elements. Most likely the final play of the game here, unless he throws it very quick.
We ending this thing, y'all. Let's go, team.
5 seconds left. Spartans 14, Michigan 10.
Hook and ladder.
Ball at the 37 of the Spartans. O'Korn takes the snap. Rolls to his right.
For the end zone. In traffic. Incomplete. Game over. Michigan State wins it in the big house.
Welcome back, Paul. Back home where you belong. We just beat Michigan 14-10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. All the legs of the rest here.
I knew that we'd rally up, and I knew that our football team and our program would basically come back to the top. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to do it step by step. But I'm extremely proud of our guys, the way they kept playing. And really what we did was we just played one play, literally one play at a time. And we made some mistakes there that drives you crazy. But, you know, hey, we survived them.